Hello beautiful people, this is your sister in wellness, Antonia Obodo. Wellness is living. How are you today? I believe you are keeping well, and thanks for tuning in. And if this is your first time of joining us, you are welcome. This channel is for those seeking to live optimal life and also to prevent lifestyle diseases. So today I want to talk to you about high cholesterol. But before I do that, I want to show you what I normally eat to keep my cholesterol level at the normal range, which is 150 milligram or below. So come closer and see what I'm eating. So this is lentils and beans, black beans mixed together. This is a sweet corn, of course, a carrot, and a cabbage. So when you eat food like this, as I'm going to talk more about it when you get to the solution part. But meanwhile, I just want to let you know that this is the typical food I eat to keep my cholesterol at a normal range. Okay guys, today I'm in my son's studio room trying to produce a professional video for you. So bear with me in case things don't go as planned. So today I want to talk about cholesterol, high cholesterol. But before I move into high cholesterol, it will be clever to understand what cholesterol is in the first place. So cholesterol, what is it? It is actually a waxy, fatty-like substance that is made by the liver and a little bit from our food, which is packaged into small particles known as lipoproteins. But don't worry about the fancy word, lipoprotein. So our cholesterol, our bodies need cholesterol. Our bodies need cholesterol to make sex hormones, for example, such as testosterone and estrogen. Our bodies need cholesterol to make vitamin D, which boosts our immune system. Again, our bodies need cholesterol to make bile, which is a substance that helps us to digest food. So you can see that it's very important for the body. But having said, we don't want high cholesterol. You're going to understand that in a little bit. So now let's talk about different types of cholesterol, because we have two types, the good cholesterol and the bad cholesterol. So the good cholesterol, otherwise known as high density lipoproteins, for short is called HDL. Now the other cholesterol is LDL, low density lipoprotein, otherwise known as LDL, and that's the bad one. Okay, what I want you to understand is both cholesterols act like vehicles that transport blood to different parts of the body. Now, let's look at what low density lipoprotein, otherwise known as, I'll be referring to it as LDL in this session. So LDL actually travels around our bloodstream, delivering cholesterol to different cells in the body. However, when there is too much cholesterol, when there's too much fat inside our bodies, it forms a plaque. It accumulates over time and forms a plaque. And plaque is not good at all. Plaque narrows our arteries, thereby restricting the flow of blood to different parts of the body, leading to heart disease and stroke. You see why it's bad, the LDL is bad. Now, the HDL, which is the good one, removes excess cholesterol from the cells, from the tissues, and also widening the plaque, or basically remove it from the blood vessels. So it is good cholesterol because when he removes them, he sends them back to the liver, and the liver discards it from the body. So that's why it's good cholesterol. But I can hear you say, well, if that is good cholesterol, if it's mopping up all the excess cholesterol from the body, then we shouldn't worry about the high cholesterol. It makes sense. But the problem is we have way too much LDL, which is the high cholesterol, excess fat in the body, that HDL struggles to remove all of them. So because it's too much, it leads to high cholesterol. Does that make sense? Okay, good. So now I can hear you scratching your head saying, oh no, yeah, I know I have it. Because if what we're aiming to have as a normal blood cholesterol is 150 milligram, the total cholesterol. Well, again, please do refer to your doctor, because what I'm giving is basically an advice. It's not a medical advice. So, but yeah, I can hear you scratching your head thinking, okay, just tell me which food I need to eat. That's all I'm interested in. I don't want to know about how it works and all that. I just want to know what can I do to keep my level at 150 milligram or below. Interesting. Well, if you've been following me, you would have guessed a little bit that I'm going to talk about whole plant-based food, because they always come to our rescue. Now, what you're hearing from me is not that whole plant-based food is going to cure all high cholesterol. If you have dangerous level of cholesterol, you will potentially or ideally talk to your doctor, but in most cases it's likely that you will need medical attention. So, but for majority of us who want to keep to optimal cholesterol or prevent having high cholesterol, this is where my advice will be more useful. Not that it will still help you if you have high, but I want you to work alongside your doctor's advice as well. So, but if you just want to maintain normal level of high cholesterol, now listen to me carefully. If Dr. Dean Ornish and Dr. Caldwell Esselstyn, both are cardiologists, if they can prove in their patients the turnaround, that is reversal of heart disease, without surgery, without medicine, just by eating whole plant-based food, then there's hope to eat whole plant-based food to keep our cholesterol at normal range. Are you following? Does that make sense? So yes, Dean Ornish, Caldwell Esselstyn, they reverse their patients with heart problems, heart issues, just by recommending whole plant-based food. The heart that is already been clogged start to open, the plaques start to clear up, and then the body returns back to normal. So if that is possible with already heart problems, then we should have a big hope that high cholesterol should be controlled just eating whole plant-based food. And what is whole plant-based food? You might, if you are new to me, you might be wondering. Basically, at the start of this session, I showed you what I eat to keep my cholesterol at normal level. So that's whole plant-based food. You would have seen sweet corn, you would have seen carrots, you would have seen cabbage, lentils, and beans. And again, it's not an exhaustive list. There's loads of them. Check out my other videos and see what I preach as a whole plant-based food. Okay, but basically it's fruits, vegetables, legumes, nuts and seeds, whole grains, spices and herbs as well. Okay, so do you wonder why the native Kenyans and the native Okinawans don't worry about the high cholesterol? Do you wonder that? They eat whole plant-based food. Basically the food I'm preaching. So they don't worry about things like that. They just eat whole plant-based food, and their cholesterol and their normal health is not an issue. The native Okinawans, the native Kenyans, they don't worry about high cholesterol, they don't worry about high blood pressure, they don't worry about all the lifestyle diseases we worry about here. Why? Because they eat whole plant-based food. Now, I used to think that it must be in their genes. It can't just be that they don't have it at all, because it's been tested in different researches to prove that they don't have it. But I never believed that until I read it myself, especially in an immigration study that proved that when native Okinawans and native Kenyans leave the natural environment and migrate to another country and start to eat the food that they eat, for example, the SAD diet, the standard American diet, when they start to eat it, they develop these diseases that were uncommon in their native environment. How shocking is that? So it's not the same people, when they were living in the local environment, they did not worry about things like that. They were living optimal, normal life. They were healthy. But once they move away from the natural environment and then go to an environment or a country where people eat food rich in saturated fat, rich in oil and all the processed food, they start to develop these diseases. The same people, what changed? Their genes did not change, but their diet and their lifestyle did. So you see what I'm trying to tell you? So it's not actually rocket science. It's not difficult. It's just making up your mind, opening up your brain to say, your mind basically, to say that if this thing is good for me, I'm going to stick to it. Don't let your taste bud hold you into ransom. Don't think that if you don't lick ice cream, if you don't eat food floating in oil, the fast food and what have you, the cheese, you won't live. Consider what is going to do inside you when they find their way inside your body. That's what matters. Life tastes better when you are healthy. Okay, guys, I'm just going to leave it there. I don't want to make this video very long, but I think the main points, I've said the main points, which is don't let your low LDL outweigh the HDL. So keep them in balance, keep the low LDL low, and then the HDL high, so that the HDL will be able to deal with the excess, with the not really excess, but a little bit from the LDL, the saturated fat, so it will be able to clean it up and then leave your body in harmony. So guys, what is most important is not just listening to 1 hour or 2 hours teaching, but is actually putting it into practice. It starts with as simple as just eating beans, eating rice, but let's have vegetables in it, and keep the meat or the fish very, very small, and then fill your plate with whole plant-based food. Eat fruits, eat nature. Okay, until then, keep it. If you are new to my channel, please consider subscribing to be part of this special movement of wellness. Until I come your way again, keep it healthy, keep eating whole plant-based food. I'll see you soon.